Hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Today, doing a quick little video aimed mostly at new players on Magic Arena, trying to help some of you decide what packs you should open. I've been seeing a lot of posts here and there, people saying, I have gold, I have gems, but I don't know what packs to open. Now, I did make one video a couple of weeks ago now, talking about mythic packs versus regular packs. You can go check that video out if you want to know the difference between that. But I'm sure some of you have gold, you have gems, and you head on over the store page and you see all of these different sets and you have no idea which set is the best one to open. It's a little bit tricky to decide which set to actually open, but I'm going to try to give you a little bit of advice that is just my opinion, personal opinion. Other people might have different opinions. I want to make that very clear off the hop. But this is what I would do if I were starting a new account, building a collection from basically nothing. So there are a couple of things to address right off the hop. First, you have to decide if you're a standard player or if you are an other format player like Pioneer, Historic, Brawl. We'll talk about Pioneer, Historic, Brawl and those a little bit later very briefly at the end of the video, but we're going to mostly focus on standard players because I think the majority of you are going to be standard players. The other thing that I think most people need to be aware of is that there are standard rotations, and we just had a standard rotation, so we're not going to have another one until 2027, and at that time we are going to be losing 6 sets. We will lose Wilds of Eldraine. Where is that one? Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, it's not working. Wilds of Eldraine. We'll also lose Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Murders of Karlov Manor, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Bloomburrow, and then finally Dustmourn. But that is 2027. It's quite a ways away, probably more than a year and a few months away. So probably you shouldn't feel too bad about opening these, but this today is September 21st. If you watch this video, let's say sometime in 2026, you should be aware that, well, within the next year or so, these sets are going to be rotating out, and maybe that'll make your decision a little bit different. You should also keep in mind that you need to be purchasing standard or alchemy packs to earn a golden pack. If you want to build your collection, I would mostly recommend you aim for sets that are going to allow you to fulfill this, so you can get one more pack. These are not always going to be the best thing, but they might contain some good cards in there. So again, if you're going to open Lord of the Rings, well, it's not going to allow you to achieve that. You can see there's this important note. This cannot be played in current standard or alchemy, so this does not work for that. However, something like this, it does say important note, this cannot be played in current alchemy format. However, it can be played in the current standard format, so it does count as a pack for this up here. Should I prove it? Sure, let's prove it. I had 2. It should give me one more. Yep, there it went. Boom. Yay, I bought a pack for almost no reason. But that's what you're going to want to do. You want to fill this up. Now, what packs to buy? If we head on over to our collection, I guess this is going to be the easiest way. Select standard. The main thing that we want to look for are lands. You want to look for mostly rare lands among these. Now, there are lands in all of these sets, but if we look at something like Tarkir Dragonstorm, these lands are basically trash. Nobody's playing them. They're not going to be good lands to add to your collection. So we want to stay away probably from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Among these sets, there are a couple of sets that have much better lands than other ones. However, I think I'm just going to jump right in and say the number one set that you should be opening if you are a new player is Dustmourn House of Horror. And there are 2 reasons why this is the ultimate set to be opening. Number one, from this set, you have Verge lands. That's pretty cool. You have the ally Verge lands. These lands are quite powerful. They add 1 base color, and then they add another base color if they meet the requirement of having a plains or an island or whatever other land type for the respective card. Whatever. These are all very powerful. They're good cards to have in your collection. People are using them in decks, and they will probably continue to see play even after standard rotation. Probably, like, they're pretty good lands overall. I really like them, and they're great. But the real reason that you should be opening this set over all other sets is because, well, Dustmourn's kind of insane. It has 2 amazing cycles. You are going to get, first and foremost, the Enduring cycle. Enduring Innocence or Enduring... no, I'm not going to be able to find it. There it is. Where'd it go? This one down here. Enduring Curiosity, very powerful card in the Dimir Kaito shells. Some people play the Enduring Tenacity in a combo set or a combo deck with the other vampire dude. I don't remember. I'm losing it. Enduring curiosity, courage. Maybe it'll be good in some sets and so forth. So you can kind of see like these enduring cards are very good. Then on top of that, you get your overlords, the overlord of the flood pits, whatever, but the overlord of the Mistmoors, fantastic card. The green one, overlord of whatever, I don't know what they're called, Hauntwood. These are very good cards. And then you're going to get cards like Kaito, fantastic. Kona sees a ton of play. Over on this one, Unstoppable Slasher, I'm sure it's killed you. Unholy Annex, great card to play with in a lot of things. Some people play Silent Hull Creeper, it's fun. Oculus is super cool. It's great to have in your collection. So as you can see, like this set is just an incredible set. It has so many good hits in the rare and the mythic slot. Ghost Vacuum, all-star sideboard card, heck yeah. Now, other sets are also good, but not as good as Duskmourn. So if I'm going to say one set, the best set that you should absolutely be opening if you have a very limited collection, Duskmourn, just open Duskmourn. The next one that you probably want to be opening is going to be Edge of Eternities. The main reason for this is that Edge of Eternities actually has 2 land cycles. It has the shock lands, which are absolutely fantastic. If you are an Eternal player playing Pioneer or Historic or Brawl, you want to have Breeding Pool, Sacred Foundry, Stomping Grounds, all of these cards in your collection. And then the planet lands are not bad, right? Some of them are seeing play in some various decks, especially with Kona. They're not the worst cards. They're not absolutely vital, but hey, if you open one of them, you're not going to be overly upset. And then on top of that, the other cards that are in this are not bad. You got your Zenith, you got your Pinnacle Starcage. Some people are now starting to play with Starfield Vocalist. You see it here and there. I'm sure you've run into a number of these cards. I personally love Arch Enemy's Charm. Ouroboride, big fan favorite card. So that is probably the second set that I would open. And then going on to the third set, and maybe this one is the little bit controversial one, but I would say Outlaws of Thunder Junction. And the reason for that is that you get your fast lands. The fast lands are fantastic. This enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. Now, we only have the enemy fast lands in standard. We do not have the ally fast lands in standard, but these are fantastic cards. You want to have them in your collection. They're played in Eternal formats, so they will always be good cards to open. And then on top of that, you know what? The other cards in Outlaws of Thunder Junction are actually pretty good. 3 steps ahead, always showing up in a lot of matchups. High Noon, fantastic sideboard card. Some people even play it main board, right? What else? Outcast Trailblazer. Outcaster Trailblazer is a card that's used in the Battle Crier combo deck. You have your Bristly Bill for the landfall deck. Don't forget Slickshot Show Off. Fantastic card over there. So you can see that there are going to be some pretty good hits overall in this, but not nearly as good as the hits that you will get from Duskmourn or, even my opinion, Edge of Eternities. And then after this, we kind of hit, you know, some weird things. You know, we have pretty good cards from Murders at Karlov Manor. I would say this is my 4th one to open up. The reason I like this one is because there are actually 10 rare lands in here. They are the Surveil lands, and the Surveil lands are good. They're used in specific types of decks. They're not as auto-include as the fast lands or the shock lands in some decks, but they are not bad cards to have in your collection. And then when you look at the rares and the mythics that are in this set, some of them pop up in sets or in decks once in a while. You know, something like the Case of the Uneaten Feast or All the Cases Analyze the Pollen is a pretty good card. But yeah, it's not the best set to open. There are some that are in here that are going to be fine to open, but I would probably say that you would have probably needed to build up a collection to a pretty good point already to be at the point where you want to start opening this set. It's not too bad. And then after that, you're kind of really hitting some bad situations. Aether Drift is okay because you get more of the Verge lands. Getting the other side of the Verge lands, not too bad. Aether Drift, a few good rares and mythics that are seeing play. And then it just goes down and down and down. I think the one set that's a little bit controversial, though, is probably Magic Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. That's the real name of it? Whatever. The Final Fantasy set. The lands in it suck. Nobody's playing the towns. We don't care about these. But this set does have some pretty good rares and mythics for specific decks. If you are looking to play Yuna, for example, you have a lot of really good enchantments that you want to be bringing back with Yuna. You also have Yuna in this set, right? Where's Yuna? She's around here somewhere. Down here, down, hiding. You have your Vivi, probably a pretty good card to get because it's going to get banned and you'll get 4 rare wild cards if you have a full playset of it. You have your Traveling Chocobo for your landfall decks, your Tifa, Esper Origin. So there are good rares and mythics in this set that I think you could probably justify opening this if you're not just land hunting. But that is only for people who are specifically looking to maybe put together a very specific deck that, you know, has 8 to 12 rare lands, rare cards that are coming from the Final Fantasy set. So again, as a quick recap, I would say number 1, open Duskmourn. Number 2, either Edge of Eternities or Outlaws of Thunder Junction. These ones I think are probably tied for second or maybe second and a close third. That's probably where you want to be. And then after that, you get into this murky waters of like Murders at Karlov Manor. You go into Aether Drift. I made a little list over here of them, but whatever. Bloomburrow used to be really great to open, but when Mice died, well, it kind of got nixed, so it's not the best set to be opening right now. Wilds of Eldraine has the creature lands. Creature lands are okay to have in your collection, but you don't need play sets of them. Yeah, whatever. And then I would probably say like the ones that's really weird to me is Magic the Gathering Foundations. For me, this set doesn't look good to me. I don't want to be opening Scrylands for the most part. They're not overly useful. Soulstone Sanctuary is fine in standard right now, but it's not going to be a great card going forward. And then when you look at the non-land rares and mythics that are in the set, man, there are a lot of traps in this, right? You don't really want to open up a Felidar retreat. You don't want Celestial Almers. You don't want Herald of the Eternal Dawn. Sure, it would be nice to open a Day of Judgment, but there are so many landmines in this set that I think it's a really hard set to recommend. It's a weird set, and I think you're much better off opening other ones that are more targeted towards getting those good lands. So that is what you should be doing if you are trying to decide what packs you want to open up for standard. Now, let's say you are not a standard player. Let's say you are looking to play historic specifically. Well, I think historic, you just go ahead and you open up this right here. Modern Horizons 3 is absolutely insane. Modern Horizons 3 has so many good cards in it for historic, timeless, and also brawl players, not standard brawl, regular brawl. If you're playing Pioneer, I don't know, is Pioneer Masters any good? Hopefully somebody down in the comments can share some insight onto that. I actually haven't played Pioneer for such a long time, so I'm kind of out of the loop on that one. But I think if you just craft mono red mice that used to be in standard, you can just do fine in Pioneer, and that's probably all you need to do. But my advice for historic players or new players that are getting into historic, it's probably fine to just open Modern Horizons 3, even though you're not going to be getting the Golden Pack. The Golden Pack is nice, but there are so many hits in Modern Horizons 3 that you can justify not worrying about filling this tracker up. Just open this if you are specifically looking for historic play. If you're looking for standard, please do not open Modern Horizons until you're ready to play historic. In the near future, I'm sure it'll happen. That's what happened to me. And that's it. Yeah. So everybody, go and open Duskmourn. Duskmourn is insane. That's it. Hopefully you found this video helpful. It gave you a little bit of insight into what you should be using your gold on. And yeah, spend responsibly, most importantly. Honestly, I would not put gems like 20 for the average person. Do not go and drop 20,000 gems, $100 on this and open up whatever amount of packs it would get you. How much does that get you? It gets you 90 packs. It feels so disappointing to do that. So what you really should be doing with your money is you should be probably trying to get the bonuses if you want to open up the, what is it called? The Game Pass. It's not called Game Pass on this. I always forget because every game has a different name for the pass, but you should be just spending your money on this pass at the, every month or every 2 months and just doing the mastery. That's all you need to do. But if you do have some gold, you're looking to buy some packs, go ahead, by Duskmorn. Take care for now. That's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.